Welcome to the What's Left podcast. My name is John here with Jake and Brad. We are the punk rock garage band podcast.
Run it back.
I don't like the way I was sitting either. And I wish it wasn't so fucking humid. My hair is crazy bananas today. Welcome everyone to the What's Left podcast. My name is John here with Jake and Brad. We are the punk rock garage band podcast, getting our voices of resistance as loudly as we can here on the Derealization Nation Media Network. Guys, it was a busy weekend with the protests and all, but a lot of other things happened too, including a very tragic assassination of a state representative in Minnesota. Here's Tim Walls.
We're here today because an unspeakable tragedy has unfolded in Minnesota. My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa and her husband Mark, were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Our state lost a great leader, and I lost a dearest of friends. Speaker Hortman was someone who served the people of Minnesota with grace, compassion, humor, and a sense of service. She was a formidable public servant, a fixture and a giant in Minnesota. She woke up every day determined to make this state a better place. She is irreplaceable, and we've been missed by so many. Minnesota's thoughts and prayers are with her family, her loved ones, her children, and her parents. My prayers.
So, her and her husband were shot and killed. Another politician and their spouse were targeted as well and shot and injured. They're still alive as of right now. I believe they're going to survive. The man had a whole list of Democrats, a whole list of other politicians whom he had planned to target. He had a car full of No Kings protest flyers. His wife was caught with a car full of cash and passports waiting to leave. So I guess maybe they were just going to abandon their children and take off. Really don't know what the game plan was. He wore a mask, so he was clearly thinking that he was going to get away with this. It was a real sick fucking episode. Of course, the president's initial statement on where he broadcast from, the only place we get addresses from the president on social media, was bland enough, but I guess sufficient for the very low standard we set for him. But then later, when he was asked if he was going to call Tim Walls, he said, "Maybe I will, maybe I won't." Before we get into it, please do like and subscribe to this video. But I want to get you guys' thoughts. We'll start with Jake this time. And what did you think of the political violence breaking out in Minnesota this weekend?
Well, it's kind of sad to say that I'm not surprised that this party is taking great lengths to be violent and applauding. I'm not sure if they're applauding, but like people like this, you give them a little bit of power by giving them a little attention, and they just think they can do whatever the heck they want. And he was following what he thought was right, hate, and he took it into his own hands. And unfortunately, it was disgusting. Someone
Yeah,
who serves your state and is doing its best should be able to go home at night, sleep, and wake up without any fears, no worries. And I didn't know her, like I didn't know what she did or anything, but what Tim Walz says is true, I guess. She's serving us. She
yeah.
should not fear for her life like that.
No, I think there's just been this constant need to demonize. And I still hear, even from people I respect, this is like there's two sides. I'm like, oh, I hear this from both sides. And perhaps you do hear sometimes from far left people some crazy shit. But it is a fucking whisper
Mm-hmm.
compared to the non-stop roar that comes from the right. And we're going to get into that a little bit here in a minute. But before we do that, Brad, any thoughts on the passing of the representative of Minnesota?
It's just so unfortunate that we've bred a population of hate to the point that they're executing political opponents. Like, you're on the wrong side of history if you are not opposed to the murder of political opponents. We fought way harder to find the shooter of the United Healthcare CEO than they are working to find this man right now, which is disgusting to me. And it kind of speaks volumes about where we are as a country.
Yeah.
That the MAGA first move is to finger point and try and create conspiracy theories and that kind of thing. Instead of condemning the act, they immediately try to push blame. It's just disgusting that we've bred this level of hate in the country, that there's no sorrow for the people that just lost their lives from like a demographic of people. They don't feel bad about the loss of life at this point.
Yeah, and it is unfortunate that we have to talk about it in this context, but we are going to have to talk about it in this context because this is not the first time. And most of the violence done in this country, and this is just something we're going to have to come to fucking terms with, and especially the so-called centrists like Stephen A. Smith, who was fucking stupid enough. Oh my God. But I'm not even going to address that one. But the people, these so-called centrists, these wishy-washy, mealy-mouthed, want to have friends with it, want to be friends with everybody, want to believe beyond belief that the people they've known and loved haven't been radicalized in some horrible way. I've got this video we're going to play real quick. 1 second. But yeah, it is true. I think sometimes we, I don't know, want badly for people to be more human.
Oh, I love it and I hate it at the same time. You and I drink the poison from the same.
He just says, I miss
human
beings they were before him. And I think this is just relevant because there was a video of a man who knew this guy years ago, and he was just sobbing. He just was like, I just don't know what happened. Like, he just became so fucking caught up, and it seemed out of character to him, and he couldn't understand how it happened. And I think we all understand how it happened because we've all seen people get radicalized in this way, and it's just wild. People who we've known to be good people, to have empathy, to be decent human beings, and just to go so far over the edge. And it's hard, you do, I don't know. We know that we're all human. We know these people have humanity in them somewhere, but I mean, see this kind of depravity where this man was just going to go on a killing spree because people are Democrats. That's a little bit fucking loopy, bro. That's a little fucking loopy.
Yeah. He had a hit list of places that he intended to continue going to until he was stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the man's agenda is clear. And, at no point should this conversation ever have to come here. But we live in a world with Elon Musk owns and runs this platform of Twitter. And he tends to promote some of the craziest things out there. And he put out there that this was somehow a left problem. And it got picked up, and people were making up some of the oddest and strangest theories. It's not just Occam's razor. Like, if you have to the amount of loops that people have to go through to make these things make sense, it's just, it cannot possibly be true. This quick video here is Tim Miller from the Bulwark. He is a recovering Republican. He's was also one of the guys who had held the Free Andre, one of the 3 people who held the Free Andre rally in Washington, D.C. I don't want to play the whole video, but I do want to get to this last bit here. So I'm going to start about here. I think this should be right.
And to say that, like, that is something that all of us, I think, have an obligation to fight against, and to be to have more empathy and just feelings for our fellow Americans, regardless of their political beliefs in times of trauma and crisis and horror like this. And so I did want to say that, but that said, like, you can't not talk about it. when the richest man in the world and all these influential Republicans have like a coordinated campaign to try to turn an assassination of a Democrat into like some crime that Democrats are responsible for. And boy, what we've seen today from the MAGA right in response to these assassinations is truly depressing, disheartening, depraved.
I was going to go into a little bit more.
That's what I mean. They make them like heroes. And if you think that there's aren't other people who are also thinking the same thing from this party, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're just giving them the okay by defending this and saying it's all democratic stuff. You're just defending it.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean,
just
Elon was talking about how, like, this is what happens when you have a party that radicalizes people. Like, what are you talking? Like, I mean, we really need to listen to these women more. I mean, even like Hillary, who I have so many fundamental disagreements on, what spoke crystal clearly about who Donald Trump in this movement was. Every fucking accusation is an admission. Every
Everyone.
single one. This party is riddled with sex pests. Like, you cannot go a day without finding another MAGA pastor, MAGA influencer who has child pornography, who's getting busted with these things. And all they want to talk about is how there's this cabal of fucking child molesters everywhere. Well, yeah, it's y'all. They want to talk about how political violence and Mike Johnson turned the temperature down. It's like the kid who like runs up and punches you in the face, and so you fucking run and go to beat his fucking head in. He's like, oh, stop, 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 stop. Every time. They're just the biggest fucking bitches. And I do mean that in the most pejorative way possible, but not toward women, but toward these MAGA men. They are the biggest bitches on the fucking planet. They have just uh, no spine whatsoever.
moral compass.
No moral compass. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys feel the same way, or am I on a limb with that one? I just feel like there's no there's no honor in any of
Oh,
it.
oh yeah, no. They don't even, buddy, they don't believe in anything.
No.
They do not have a firm belief on any single thing. It is merely what they are told to believe. Like these people have been fighting, saying that these undocumented immigrants need to be sent back in handcuffs and shipped all over the place and blah. They skipped this, that, and the other. And now Donald Trump has said, actually, pump the brakes. We shouldn't be doing that. So now what are they about to say? Because you've proven that you're just hateful garbage.
Yeah.
And now your president left you standing out here on another island
Mm-hmm.
by yourselves again, because that's what he does. He just changes his mind all the time, and then you idiots have to backtrack.
Yeah.
But they don't believe in anything. They don't believe in anything
Yeah.
but him.
I don't want to like give. I thought about it, but I really just don't want to give any more, amplify any of those posts any more than they already have been.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to show any of them. Um,
I
but
just
just
want to like our response, like the Democratic Party when Trump had an assassination attempt on him, was not putting the blame on other parties, was
100%.
not creating mountains out of molehills. It
Right.
was speaking out, saying that political attacks on political leaders is wrong.
Yeah.
Multiple people on our side were shaming the person who tried it. But
Right. No, for sure. And almost to a fault.
yeah,
Almost to a fault where we allow like really it became a thing where like, well, see, he's not so people use that as a cudgel. Like, see, you're saying he's not so bad after all. See, he's not so bad. He's all right because we didn't attack him for being attacked.
hmm
And that's not to say that there weren't some people who had some shitty things to say on the internet. Um, but nothing like this, and certainly nobody influential like this. Like nobody in the influential left said
right.
anything like this. You have the world's richest man on Twitter saying it, and then all of these little fucking influencers to whom people. I mean, these are the people to whom they give press releases to now. You know what I mean? Like this is who they tell. Like these are the talking points. These are the people who you will see them post the same thing three times about immigrants, and it will be funny to see Brad how they're going to backtrack now after having said, we need to stop accepting people from third worlds. Well, now how do you backtrack from that? Unless they're doing my slave labor. Is that the Is that the MAGA responses? Do you want to make that official? Would you like to put that on paper? Would you like to write that down for the people? So yeah, I mean, it is going to be interesting to watch them do these backflips. It always is. It always is.
I do not waver in my beliefs. I'm not saying that all my beliefs are correct and everybody should follow my beliefs, but if you ask me today how I feel about something, I promise you next week I will feel the exact same fucking way,
Yeah.
regardless of who says what. My beliefs do not change based on the fucking weather of the president that day.
No. And I believe what I perceive. You know what I mean? Like I'm not willing to change my perception of reality to uplift some orange weirdo for any reason. I never will. And I just gotta say this, like, to come around to a point where you believe and uh, are accusing, and even like a sitting U.S. senator accusing Tim Walz, the man crying in the video announcing his friend's death, is responsible for that death, is just a level of insanity and depravity that just it doesn't exist on the left. Like that's fucked. You're fucked. Like that's fucked. And also, like, speaking of that senator, does somebody want to explain to me what based actually means? Because I am embarrassed to say it, but I have been locked up for a while. Like, I don't understand what based is. Like, what's based?
I'm gonna give that to the kid because I don't know. I'm an adult.
Not in
Well,
the queer community.
no, it's definitely not that.
I don't. Was it a what? Call someone a based? BAIST? Based?
No, no, no. No, that is what they do. They do base themselves in
What context was it used in? Like, I know
Yeah.
it's BASED, but what was the
Give me some
context? What did they say?
context clues.
So I get like that shit is based. Like I assume I guess from context I gather it must mean like the new cool or just like
Base? Like base?
perhaps it
Like
has something to do with trolling. I don't know. BASED based based.
based.
Yeah, it's a Twitter thing. I don't know it. I don't understand it. I was hoping to get some clarity tonight, but I guess not. We'll have to go to
On
Google.
Twitter?
It's a word used when you agree with something or when you want to recognize someone for being themselves. That's from Urban Dictionary.
Okay, so when they are saying these hateful things, they're saying that they're based. I guess that means that they're just finally able to be their racist selves. That makes sense. That tracks.
That does
No.
track.
That
That's why I didn't
tracks.
know it because I'm not going out there saying I'm based
No,
of being a hateful person. That's
so
a
based.
terrible word. Obviously, we didn't come up with it.
Yeah.
Well, you just make fun of us for being old all the time, so I thought you were young and hip and had it on lock.
Yeah. I
I am
guess you're
young and
not
hip,
very
but I
based
didn't
at
know it.
all, young man. Yeah. Well, just by me
I
now,
heard the other
like
bit.
by the fact that now that knowledge has been absorbed into mine and Brad's old man brain, it has
Yeah.
become exponentially less cool. That's how it works.
You got to say it
Once
one more time, else it won't go into your long-term memory. One more, guys.
based, bro.
Based. Yeah,
Based.
there you go.
Shit's based.
Now the neurons are tracking.
That's it. Now we got it.
Period.
Got it. So speaking of alternate realities that are going to have MAGA and backflips, Israel and Iran. Full scale war, fourth day. They Israel launched new attacks minutes ago. Of course they did. It's not going to stop. They haven't had a fucking pause yet. They just keep throwing these things back and forth. The claim, first of all, I just want to address the fact that this is supposedly about Iran having nuclear weapons. Um, Israel's a nuclear superpower. So even though this is country on country, this is still not a fair fight. And it's a little bit insane for them to be pointing to that as a thing. But I mean, there are MAGAs who are full neocon right now. Like Lindsey Graham he wants to put on his heels and watch a war. Like that is what that's all he wants to do at this time. He wants to watch men die. That is, he gets off on war. He is always fucking trucking for war. He wants to send soldiers over the border of Mexico to fight cartels. And now he wants to send U.S. soldiers to Israel. And he represents a pretty decent chunk of MAGAs. There's a Tom Cotton out there saying the same things. But then you have the America First MAGAs who really truly believe in this isolationist nonsense, which is also bullshit and not something that you can do. You can't simply ignore nuclear powers having fucking fist fights with their neighbors. Um, but yeah, there you have. They just don't know again what to believe, and it is turning into a full-on fucking battle for them as much as it is for Iran and Iraq, or Iran and Iran. I'm gonna keep calling Iran Iraq, or Iran and Israel, because it feels so much like that time with all this bullshit about weapons of mass destruction and reasons for going in and blah 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 blase skip. Bro, I don't believe that Iran is fucking days away from making a nuclear weapon because I don't believe that you can build a nuclear weapon in days. Nothing in the world that you can say is going to convince me that you can build a nuclear bomb in the matter of minutes. Am I out of line for that, or am I underestimating the threat of Iran?
I never took a nuclear physics course, so I can't help you on that one.
I read Oppenheimer. Does that count?
They say it took a couple days.
It took more than a couple, more than a couple.
I would assume the process is lengthy,
Right?
as everybody would have them, you know?
Yeah. Trying
Well,
to snap it together. They do have
they
weapons grade uranium now, which is something. That
do
is one of
you,
the parts.
yes, and they have weapons grade uranium because 7 years ago, President Donald Trump ended the Iran nuclear deal. The
Yes.
Iran nuclear deal stopped them from producing warfare grade uh, uranium,
Yeah.
all in order for them to have sanctions removed. So essentially, so that they can operate on a global economy. They agreed no more nukes. You just allow us to trade amongst the nations. And we did that because that's smart. That's how you actually create peace. That's how you stop wars.
Hmm.
And then in 2018, your president, Donald J. Trump, revoked the Iran nuclear deal, leading us to where we are 7 years later when they're saying that Iran is now a nuclear threat.
Yeah. So he created the nuclear threat. They were trying to negotiate their way back into Obama's deal, um, and they don't trust them because, well, they backed out of the first deal. I don't understand. Like, it's common sense. Like, I don't need to read The Art of the Deal to know that if you say to me, I'm going to do the thing that I said I wasn't going to do 7 years ago, I'm probably going to hesitate to believe you,
Right.
you know? Especially if I'm dealing with the exact same administration except stupider. Like, I'm probably, like, last time he was sending, like, he had real people in his cabinet. Now he's got Steve Witkoff negotiating Ukraine and Ukraine and Russia, Israel and Iran, fucking McDonald's versus Burger King, just about every fucking conflict on the planet. Steve Witkoff, who is unqualified as anybody else in that fucking cabinet for the positions that he's been given, let alone the 17. You need whole teams working these things. He takes none of this seriously. He doesn't understand any of it. He takes Vladimir Putin's word for everything. Vladimir called to wish him happy birthday. People don't remember. I don't understand why we like Germany and Japan now and not Russia when so many Russians died for us in World War II. Like nothing happened in between. What? Excuse me, pal. Like, what year do you think it is? How bad is your fucking dementia? Because this is serious. This is a serious problem. And guess what is not going to happen now is $1.99 gas. Fucking promise you that.
So this is my question. So does Iran flood the market
Well,
to put
some, some
Americans out of work?
it's possible. Yeah, I mean, it's possible because now Saudi has said, like, in this conflict, they're taking Israel's side, or they're
Mm-hmm.
taking Israel's side. Like, they're not going to take Israel's side. They're taking Iran's side in this one.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So now pretty much all of the Middle East oil is in one fucking cache. So they have the power to do whatever they want.
They can either flood it or hoard it.
Exactly.
Yep.
So they can flood it, and like Brad said, put a lot of Americans out of work, or they can hoard it and make it so that gasoline is super duper fucking expensive. Um, and either option obviously is bad for us. So that puts them in a very good negotiating position with us. Um, except for we have this seemingly unbreakable bond with Israel. Trump being transactional, it could happen. We could break with them, but it doesn't necessarily lead to a good outcome because you are going from these people that are running Saudi Arabia and Qatar. These are not good people either. They're terrorists just like Netanyahu. You know, the entire region is terrorist, including and especially Netanyahu is the worst of all of them. And he is the most manipulative person on the planet. Today he's on TV, he's fucking gargling Trump's balls, telling him how fucking great he is. And they are going to and Trump has so far, and we know how fucking wishy-washy, and it's the last person he talked to is who is fucking parroting, but so far he's on the neocon side. Trump is like, we're gonna give Israel the stuff, and we're gonna go in and we're gonna fight this war. And honestly, him being the kind of guy that doesn't like to lose, I'd probably go with the country with the nukes too.
Could you imagine the mental gymnastics that people will have to go through if he turns his back on Israel?
Bro, I no, I can't. I would laugh so hard. I would laugh for days.
Their heads would explode. They would not know what to do.
The thing that just can't get lost in any of this though is that none of this is good for the Palestinians. Because none of these people, if Saudi Arabia had for the Palestinians' best interest in mind, they would have done something a long fucking time ago. A long time ago. And the same with Qatar and any of these other at the Arab Emirates, any of them. And it's sick that they can sit there and watch their Palestinian brothers and to sign these Abraham Accords. I mean, the stuff in the West Bank's been going on forever. Stuff in the West Bank's over. Trump gave them that. So it would be something to watch the fucking flip back and forth. My God.
Yeah.
But yeah, this whole conflict, and then let's talk about too, um, the fact that the narrative now is that Iran killed some civilian targets, and that is a red line you do not cross. And I could not possibly agree more. Which is why fucking Israel is acting so fucking evil in the first place. I can't believe that all of a sudden these people have the goddamn audacity to say the fucking audacity. The headlines at first said, "Oh, they hit nuclear strikes." In that first attack, Israel hit apartment buildings as well. In the first one, they started off with fucking 80 to 100 civilians immediately. They can't help it. I swear to God, Netanyahu purposely kills babies because the man wants to hurt people. He's a sick fuck. A sick fuck. And so Iran fires. They're fucking. It's not like they're firing U.S. grade weapons. They're firing back duct tape versions of whatever the hell was fired at them. Um, so I don't know. That's not true. Iran does have some serious weapons, but
Yeah, I
nothing,
mean, honestly,
nothing like what
I don't,
Israel's.
I don't care about either side of this conflict. My goal is a resolution. We need to stop this. This is crazy. Stop. Why are we bombing? Why are countries bombing? Why don't we understand that as a nation, as a world, like we are much better together than we are apart? What the fuck is the point in war, brother? Just fucking everybody make a bunch of money and be happy. What are we doing?
I don't know. We just keep fucking running into this fascism, nationalism, isolationism, and just expand and the expansionism to which that leads. It's like, well, we need to be Russia first, but Russia doesn't have any farmland, so we also need Ukraine, and also most of Europe because, well, of course, we need the things that they make that we can't make. So rather than be trade partners, it becomes conquest. You know what I mean? So like, rather than admit that I need you, I must dominate you, and that's where people like Netanyahu and pretty much everybody in the Middle East right now lives. Although you can say at least for like Saudi and Qatar, they do seem to be pretty happy just fucking spending that oil money right now and not spending it on any of their people. So yeah, it's a real sick situation. But I mean, we'll keep we will keep tabs on it. But I mean, it's just another excuse for Israel to kill civilians. It seems. So I don't know. That's that's no fun. But yeah, I don't know with the back and forth and the domestic interest. We'll see what the United States decides to do. You guys got anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
All right. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Blue Sky. At Derealization Nation at JWardle13. Also, you can go to derealizationnation.com and buy a union made, union printed t shirt to help support our cause. Until next time, I'm John,
I'm Jake.
And I'm Brad.
and that's what's left.
If love does not win, we all lose.
Mm.